This is RTV6 News at 11, working for you.
And good evening to you. At 11, I'm Mark Mullins.
And I'm Amanda Starntino. It's raining across central Indiana tonight.
The wet weather is going to stick around but change as colder temperatures move in. Storm Team 6 Chief Meteorologist Kevin Gregory joins us now.
And change from light rain to some light snow. We've had patchy fog today as well. I think we'll see a little of that through the overnight. Light snow arrives tomorrow. More on the timing. An inch or less expected across central Indiana. This will play a key role. The temperature. Right now we think temperatures will be at or above freezing during the day tomorrow. They are right now. The green on the radar represents then the rain that will begin to mix with some snow overnight into the morning hours. See this curl to the radar? That's the colder air on the backside of this. Chance for snow tomorrow, 40 to 50%, just about anywhere at any time. And I'll show you 7 a.m. Crawfordsville, Kokomo, Peru, light snow. That's sliding to the east southeast. Again, this will be light and fairly widespread at times through the day tomorrow. Temperatures just above freezing in the morning.
The forecast could create slick conditions on the road. Here's a live look outside from our live drive camera downtown. It looks like our live camera was just going through the circle and is driving through the downtown streets on those wet roads. The Department of Public Works just sent out a full crew of salt and plow trucks as a precaution. Now, that's 80 drivers. DPW says a full second shift will take over at 11 a.m. You can track the department's trucks on the Indy Snow Force viewer. You can find a link to the site by clicking on this story in the RTV6 app.
New at 11, a major change that will impact how thousands of IPS students get to school. For the first time ever, Indianapolis Public Schools will not operate its own transportation department. Right now, operations are divided between IPS Transportation, which is run by the district, and Durham School Services, which is contracted and runs a large portion of routes. Well, RTV6 has learned the company First Student will take over all operations starting July 1st, and the company plans to buy an entirely new fleet of buses. IPS says this change will affect about 135 people currently employed by the district.
New at 11, using a night at the movies to start a conversation about criminal justice reform.
Tonight, a community activist invited dozens of kids and their parents to watch Just Mercy after he bought all the tickets to a showing on the Northwest Side.
The movie, based on a true story, stars Michael B. Jordan and Jamie Foxx. Jordan plays a lawyer who works with a man played by Foxx that was wrongly convicted of murder based on police coercion and perjury. RTV6's Cornelius Hawker shows you what families got out of tonight's screening.
Jalenka Harris is a mom to 5 kids. She makes sure they all take part in the programs and events offered up by the Ross Foundation.
Put a spark in them, and I put a spark in them, put a spark in me. So I'm glad they're enjoying it.
Born and raised here in Indy, Jalenka knows there's a huge benefit for Black kids, especially the boys and young men, to see people who look like them doing great things.
It's a good thing to have here in Indianapolis because a lot of our boys need something to do. Something positive besides sports.
That's why she and so many others showed up here tonight. Darius Ross has made it his mission to positively impact and change the lives of people in his community. Creating a conversation around criminal justice reform is just one way he's doing it. Once the movie wrapped up, I asked some of the kids to share their thoughts about it.
I loved it, even though I almost cried, but overall my anger took over most of the movie because I could see that they convicted him of a feeling that he didn't do.
It's not uncommon that the Black male gets framed very easily in certain states and counties, and it gets swept under the rug super easily. But there is always someone out there that will try to dig it up, and if they succeed, then they'll make a ripple effect.
After the movie tonight, they held a Q&A. You can see some of it right there. In it, they talked about criminal justice reform, wrongful convictions, and the impact it has on young people who are seeing these types of things in their community. They also talked about what next steps we can take to move forward on these issues here in the Indy area. Working for you on the West Side, Cornelius Hawker, RTV6.
Marion County Prosecutor Ryan Mears was a part of tonight's Q&A. Mears has been vocal about making sure his team does not contribute to a system that in the past has punished minorities harsher than their white counterparts for the same crimes.
A sad end to the search for a missing Notre Dame student. The university says the body of Ann Rose Jerry was found in a lake on campus. The discovery this morning comes 3 days after the 21-year-old went missing. The St. Joseph County Coroner's Office says there are no apparent signs of trauma. A mass at the Basilica of the Sacred Heart honoring Jerry will be held next week.
A 4-year-old boy has died days after police say he and his father were play wrestling and a gun went off. The gun was in the father's waistband at the time, according to investigators. The shooting happened Sunday at a home in Bloomington. Officials say the case is still under investigation.
We can learn more about a deadly police shooting in Lafayette next week. A shooting review board is scheduled to meet on Monday. Police were called to 23rd and State Streets around 2 o'clock Monday afternoon on a report of a man with a gun. They say an officer shot and killed the man during negotiations to get him to surrender. The officer is identified as Nathan Stone King, a 4.5-year-old veteran with the department.
The number of reported flu-related deaths in Indiana is at 38. That is up from 31 last week. Friends of a Seymour woman tell RTV6 she died this week just days after being diagnosed with the flu. 36-year-old Allison Williams was a youth pastor at Reddington Christian Church. Members of the congregation checked on her throughout the week and believed she was getting better. Then on Monday, her condition took a turn for the worse. Her pastor rushed her to the emergency room.
We weren't there less than 5 minutes, and she went into cardiac arrest and passed away.
The staff at the hospital thinks sepsis contributed to Williams' death. There is no way to know if she is included in the number of flu-related fatalities. The state does not identify patients.
Teachers are weighing in on the state of Beech Grove schools as the district plans to ask voters for millions of dollars in taxpayer money. The superintendent says Beech Grove used to be one of the highest paid school corporations in the state, but that has changed over the past 15 years or so. Teachers who are currently with the district say they've seen a lot of turnover, which can affect students.
It's really hard for students. I think they had their ag teacher that left, and then they had a sub, and then they had me. So the adjustment's a hard process for them, especially at the age that they're at.
I would say for voters, consider how having a really solid foundational school corporation affects the community that we live in.
An operating referendum would help pay for a $2,000 raise to teachers. A construction referendum will also be on the May ballot. For more details about the proposals, go to the RTV6 app and click on this story. Plans to build a new and improved headquarters for Indianapolis Animal Care Services are moving forward. The Board of Business and Neighborhood Services has approved a contract extension with an architecture group that is working to design a new shelter. IACS hopes to have better medical and intake areas.
We'll have some more kennel space, but that's not the only thing that we're looking for. What's really important is that we're going to have a more efficient flow through the building so that animals stay in the shelter for a shorter period of time.
And by the way, the current shelter on Harding Street is 30 years old.
Secret project revealed. Coming up, a well-known local brewer is now open for business in downtown Indianapolis.
A couple of big upsets tonight in the high school basketball. The best team in the state suffers its first loss, and a couple other games go down to the wire. Brad will be here with the highlights.
More than 1 year ago, neighbors in Fortville reached out to RTV6 about a dangerous intersection. Working for you, we never gave up pushing for answers and action.
This is a very unsafe intersection.
Earl Bolander lives right on the corner of State Road 13 and State Road 67 in Fortville. These are photos he's taken of the scary moments following crashes at the intersection. The concern from drivers deals with lack of visibility, turning from State Road 13 onto State Road 67. Well, tonight we have learned from INDOT that crews are now working to install a new traffic signal. INDOT says they completed a traffic study looking at the number of crashes and the increase in traffic due to Fortville growing, and they determined the intersection was high risk and a good candidate for a light. The project was delayed to 2019 because INDOT thought it needed to acquire land. The design phase later showed there wasn't a need. So then contractors started bidding on the project in March of 2019. Over the summer, new black poles, wiring, and signs were added. In August, INDOT said it would be completed in 2 to 3 weeks. But now, months later, Megan Ewing reached out to RTV6 again, asking the same question. Why is the traffic signal not installed?
Just a list of excuses that we've been given over the years that seems to extend this project with no result.
Last week, we found out INDOT developed a plan with the contractor, so installation is back underway.
Toyota, let's go places.
This is RTV6 News at 11, working for you.
The Senate impeachment trial into President Trump will continue over the weekend. ABC's Serena Marshall has the latest now from Capitol Hill.
As House Democrats wrap up their three-day opening remarks, the president's repeated denials that he doesn't know Rudy Giuliani's former associate Lev Parnas.
I don't believe I've ever spoken to him.
Receiving new scrutiny. ABC News has reviewed a recording from April 2018 of what appears to be a conversation between Parnas, the president, and others, where he says they need to oust then U.S. Ambassador to Ukraine, Marie Yovanovitch. Parnas tells the president that she's, quote, basically walking around telling everybody, wait, he's going to get impeached. The president appears to say, get rid of her. Get her out tomorrow. I don't care. Get her out tomorrow. Take her out, okay? Do it. A year later, she was pushed out. Testifying before lawmakers, she was never told why. And when asked about the claims made by Parnas,
I did not. And I would not say such a thing. Such statements would be inconsistent with my training as a Foreign Service officer and my role as an ambassador.
The administration not denying the authenticity, simply arguing removing Yovanovitch was the president's right.
The president had concerns, and in his authority as president made a decision to make a change.
None of that coming up during House Democrats' final day.
President Trump tried to cheat. He got caught. And then he worked hard to cover it up.
Focusing instead on Article 2, obstruction of justice, and continuing their push for new witnesses, like former National Security Advisor John Bolton.
These witnesses have important first-hand testimony to offer.
President Trump's team will begin their opening remarks tomorrow, but they're only going to be in session for about 3 hours. That shortened schedule comes after President Trump tweeted out the Saturdays are Death Valley in TV, coming from the media-savvy president who wants as many eyes on his defense as possible. Reporting from Capitol Hill, Serena Marshall, ABC News. For many people, having a warm winter coat is a luxury. That's why 2 organizations teamed up to provide free coats to those in need. The Korean American Association of Indiana and the Southeast Community Center hosted a coat giveaway today. This was a little different than similar events because all the coats were for adults. Tonight is your last chance to enjoy the Circle of Lights this season unless there's another delay. The display is scheduled to come down tomorrow morning. Weather conditions have prevented the lights and decorations from being removed on previously scheduled dates, so they've been up a little longer than usual this year. And Kevin, I will be surprised if they actually do come down tomorrow with the forecast.
It should happen.
Okay.
So it was a good 3-week bonus, but we move on. There's your Saturday headline. Not significant snow, but any snow this month is significant. We've not had measurable snowfall. This shows you water vapor, the amount of moisture in the atmosphere available to turn into some rain or snow. But what I love seeing here is just the swirl. The area of low pressure lifting into southern lower Michigan will pull the colder area in. On the backside of this, that's where you're getting your snow in Wisconsin and western portions of Illinois. That becomes part of our day tomorrow. All eyes on the thermometer as much as the radar tomorrow. Precip is light. Temperatures just above freezing. Watch the bridges. You know from experience that cold air gets under the bridge and they're the first to freeze over, and often that's the first place you find a problem on the roadways. We're dry Sunday. 7 a.m. there's your snow north and west of Indy from Crawfordsville on up toward Frankfort, Kokomo, and Peru. We slide that to the east through the mid-morning, 9 a.m. early afternoon. Still light snow, and that will continue through the evening. Temperatures just in the low 30s tomorrow. They really don't change much through the day, and in the hourly forecast we also hold on to the potential for the light snow through the day. 1 o'clock in the afternoon, a little more widespread snow showers. 4 o'clock, snow ongoing, same at 7 in the evening. A lot of this melting on contact with the roadways until temperatures do go below freezing tomorrow night. Inch or less of accumulation is what is expected, mainly grassy surfaces. Any elevated surface becomes a little more likely. There are your wind gusts tomorrow. That's one of the big changes. Winds gusting over 25 miles per hour. That will make it feel colder than it actually is. As we get to Sunday, temperatures stay in the 30s. we'll have lots of clouds around. If you're looking for some sunshine here in the 7-day forecast, we don't find a ton of it. Temperature just about average for this time of year. There are the highs from north to south. Not much of a temperature range to end the weekend. Early next week, temperatures a little bit warmer. 36 your average high. The entire 7-day planner has temperatures at or above the average high this time of year, but not too far above. Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, dry. Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, the rain chance minimal. Temperatures will be in the lower 40s with highs generally in the upper 20s.
From RTV6 Sports, this is Hoosier Hoop Hysteria.
Let's get right to it. Greenwood making the drive to Decatur Central. Gavin Dowling for the visitors. Woodman getting it going in this one. Decatur had trouble getting points tonight. Kenny Tracy, though, scores this time down with the and one, but the Woodman in control of it. Dowling to Spencer Aaron, and Greenwood gets one on the road. 55-34 the final, as they've won 4 of their last 5 games. And good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I am Brad Brown. Dave First will be back with us next Friday. Last week, we saw the Lawrence North boys win the Marion County Tourney for the first time in a dozen years. LN's been the best of the best all season. The #1 Wildcats, though, had another tough conference test tonight. Taking on North Central, LN beat the Wildcats, or LN beat the Panthers, in last week's county tourney by 16. Fast pace in the first half. Leland Walker to Charlie Patterson had the Panthers on the run. Ellen comes right back. Dorian Hatton to Shamar Avance. Hatton gets it back for the lay-in. NC keeping it close in the opening half. Theron Johnson on the hop. Drops it off. Quentin Boyd with the finish. Cats had a battle on their hands in this one. DJ Hughes in the post, the big man. Nice footwork, nice finish. 6 lead changes in the first 2 quarters, but North Central played one of their best games all season. Mike Elliott on the one-man fast break, scoop, score. And the Panthers get it done tonight, 69-59, handing LN their first loss. Keep in mind, these teams are also in the same sectional. There could be a third meeting coming up when we get into the month of March. Lawrence Central's only 2 losses this season are against LN. The Bears hosting Warren Central tonight. Long-range shots were on in the first half. Nigel Pack for LC gets a look at a step-back 3. He scored 16. Bears trailed in the first quarter, back in the lead. Warriors trying to keep up. Malik Stanley with 3 of his game-best 25 points. But Lawrence Central would pull away with a strong second half. Dre Davis gets to the baseline, up and under for 2 of his 20. And Lawrence Central wins it by 14. It's the 15th win of the season for the LC Bears. Another game in the mix tonight. Carmel hosting Pike. It's Pups night up in Carmel. Kids having a good time up there at the Eric Young Center. Greyhounds give one up early. Loose ball goes to DeJuan Pearson. Takes care of that for the Pike Red Devils. Back at the other end, Carmel moving the ball well. Charlie Williams to Brian Waddell on the move. Nice pass, nice finish. Game stayed close all night. Hounds would open a 5-point edge here. Jackson Jansen off the curl for 3, and the Greyhounds get a 2-point win. Carmel goes to second place in the MIC with the 39-37 victory. Beyond the top-tier teams, there are others having some very good seasons all over the area. Brownsburg won the Hendricks County Tourney a couple weeks ago. The Bulldogs only lost so far, yes, also against Lawrence North. Taking on Westfield tonight. The Rocks off to a 9-2 start as well. Brownsburg's got some guys that can go, including this one. Pierce Thomas, baseline, rise up, the slam. Close game in the first half. Cam Hafner hits the 3 for Westfield. They were down by 2 at the break. Second half, Bulldogs start to heat it up. Luke Lacey with the rebound, put back high off the glass. The big story in this one was Brownsburg's Connor Lucas. In the fourth quarter, he had half a dozen threes. 7 on the night, 26 points, a game high. Brownsburg gets their 10th win, 65-50, an impressive showing at home. The girls' teams played ahead of the boys at Brownsburg tonight. More threes going down in this one. Brownsburg's Kayla Terrell gets us started. And then her teammate, Allison Bossi, from the other corner, gets a triple of her own. Westfield getting in on it from outside the arc. Alyssa Crockett pulls up 3 for the Rocks, but eventually Brownsburg gains control. Mackenzie Stein drives and scores. Bulldogs get the sweep, 44-31 for the girls, the 16th win of the season for Brownsburg. The girls' state tourney draw comes up this weekend. It's on Sunday afternoon. The IHSAA will set the pairings for the sectionals. Those games get going the following week, starting on February 3rd. The tourney rolls through the entire month. State finals are set for February 29th at Bankers Life Fieldhouse. On to college hoops now. Purdue's got a single Friday night game on their Big Ten agenda. That would be tonight against Wisconsin. The Boilermakers sitting 10th place in the Big Ten, entering the evening, looking to not drop a second straight at Mackey Arena. And they came out, left little doubt about this one. Hot from the start, hammered down right from the tip for the black and gold. Eric Hunter Jr. for three. 15-7 just getting warmed up in West Lafayette tonight. The lead got bigger quickly. Evan Boudreau, the shot fake, the drive. Pump it up and score for the and one. He had 11. Boilers up 31-15 at halftime. The lead grew to 28 points in the second half. Matt Harms on the move. Hits the hook. He's fired up, as they all should be tonight. No doubt about this one. Isaiah Thompson led the scoring with 14 points. His brother PJ's an assistant coach now. He liked that from the bench as well. And a lot to like if you like Purdue. Boilers win it by 19.
We just want to just play hard on defense. We knew coming out it was going to start on the defensive end, coming out with energy. And we dominated them on the glass, especially in the first half. And I feel like that got us out in the open with transition buckets and just led us to some easy points.
Butler at home against Marquette tonight. BU fell behind 7-zip to start. They would come back to get a first-half lead. Sean McDermott knocks down the three. Hinkle was feeling it. Bulldogs trying to snap a three-game losing streak. They were down 4 at halftime. Get back in it. Final minute, Kamar Baldwin drives, scores high off the glass. That tied it. In fact, they're still going. A Marquette 3 in the closing seconds of regulation got it to OT. 71 all. That's where they are right now. The Dogs are at Georgetown coming up on Tuesday night. And the Pacers are just getting late to the first half, playing out in Golden State, Indiana, with a 7-point lead. In that one, they finish up their 5-game road trip out west on Sunday in Portland. Then it's back home on Wednesday. Of course, the much-awaited return of Victor Oladipo will be at Bankers Life Fieldhouse for that one. Time for another break. The News at 11 continues next.
Furniture and mattress store, Ashley Home Store.
New at 11, Blackacre Brewing is expanding to downtown Indianapolis, and tonight the local company opened the Blackacre Loft on Delaware Street right across from the city market. The brewery describes it as a secret project. This new bar comes as the company rebuilds its popular tap room in Irvington that caught fire last month.
We had our fire the weekend before Christmas. We essentially fast-tracked this project, obviously because we needed to. But it's also been really nice because we've been able to open this place and give our staff from our previous pub a place to work.
The Loft is open Wednesdays through Sundays.
Another popular restaurant dealing with the aftermath of a fire is getting major support from the community. A GoFundMe for workers at Country Kitchen has raised more than $40,000. That includes a $25,000 donation from Colts owner Jim Irsay. Investigators say the fire at the restaurant started in a downstairs office. Foul play is not suspected. RTV6 continues right after this.
At Dream Mattress Studio at Value City Furniture.
BEATBOXING GARNET PALINDROME.
Well, some of the best and brightest young spellers in Indianapolis faced off in the IPS Spelling Bee this morning. More than 35 B winners from schools across the district competed. For the second straight year, 8th grader Owen Norwalk took home the top prize. His friends and family helped him study for the big competition.
Lots of my family members, and I Skype a friend named Yolanda, and she quizzes me.
So how was the experience?
And my sister helps.
And your sister?
Lucy Norwalk.
That is awesome. Isn't it his birthday, too?
It is his birthday
I thought we reported that earlier. So happy birthday to him. Something to celebrate, and the whole family.
And congratulations, Owen. Very proud. Great trophy.
And go ahead and set it down. It's getting heavy.
Yeah.
No doubt. Hopefully you get the big trophy at the Scripps Spelling Bee at some point. Temperatures in the 30s tomorrow with light snow.
BYE.
Good night.